I'm happy to have with me today Henry County Sheriff Wayne Davis. And the reason I have him here today is because there is I would say a new site on the Henry County website that is very informative. And this was rolled out last week?
Just last week we released this to the community.
Okay, so the Sheriff's Department rolled this out last week, and I want people to know about it. And it's important from the standpoint of knowing what's going on in your community. So thank you so much for agreeing to come today, because I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
And I want you to kind of, I guess, navigate through this portal and explain to people how they can get on it and find out the information that maybe they're wondering, but the Sheriff's Department has, and you want to share it with the public, right?
Most certainly. So what we wanted to do is move the Sheriff's Office forward in technology. And so the first thing we looked at was the ability for our citizens to file reports online as an option, just like online banking or online bill pay. It's just a matter of convenience that we wanted to provide for the community. But what we ended up with is this program here through our current software provider. It's called Citizen Connect, and it took us far beyond the ability to just file online reports. So it's a great tool that allows us to be transparent with our community. It allows our community to feel connected to the Sheriff's Office so they can better see what's going on, not only what our deputies at the Sheriff's Office are doing, but also just feel connected to the community and see what's going on right in your own neighborhoods.
All right, so what we're going to do this morning is to navigate through it, to try to explain to you how you get on that site, because you don't have to be computer savvy.
No, this tool is very user friendly. It's simply point and click.
That's it. If you have basic computer knowledge, then you can navigate through this. So we want to explain to you that you're going to be able to find out a lot of information about the Sheriff's Department. And that's what we want you to know, but also how you can find out who's in the jail, missing people. There's so many different things. So I want you to take us through it, if you would. Tell me what we do.
Most certainly. We want to give you a first-hand look into the Sheriff's Office and just see exactly what we are doing. Most people don't know it, but our patrol deputies answer over 3,000 calls for service a month. Many of those calls will end up right here in this portal where you can see what happened.
Okay.
So you can find it at henrycountyva.gov. That's henrycountyva.gov. That's Henry County's main website. And from there, there's a tab for government. And if you look, you have to click on the tab for Sheriff's Office. So once you bring up the website for the Sheriff's Office, you scroll down to the bottom left and you'll find Citizen Connect. It will tell you that you're leaving the site and you're now proceeding to another site. It is safe to do so. I know some people have been skeptical about proceeding to another site, but this is secure. So you'll bring up this page here. And what you have here is nearly full access to the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
Right.
So there are some exceptions. You won't be able to see calls that involve juvenile victims or offenders. You won't be able to see
rape victims.
Yes, victims of certain types of violent crimes.
Okay.
And you certainly won't be able to see ongoing undercover drug investigations.
Okay.
But the first thing I recommend everybody to do, Deborah, is to create an account. You don't have to create an account to access it. But by creating an account, it gives you full access to all the tools available here. So to create an account, we would log in, and then you would go through the steps preceded here to create your own personalized account. And that will give you full access to Citizen Connect.
But let me explain again, as you said, you don't have to log in.
That's correct.
Because I didn't log in when he first announced this, and I was able to pull up quite a bit of information that I thought was very important. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we'll discuss the login first. If you do decide to create your account and log in, that gives you access for alert sign up. So Deborah, you can go in and you can sign up for text message alerts and or email alerts. So the text message alerts allow us to send out real-time alerts, whether there be a road closure or an emergency in your neighborhood. It's an excellent tool.
So let's just say you're looking for a particular person in a certain area. Then that alert would notify me, be on the lookout.
Most certainly. And those alerts are in real time.
Okay. All right.
The other option is email alerts. And you can choose to receive in your email every time a report is filed, essentially, and you can select even what reports that you would like to see sent to your email.
So let's talk about this for a moment for those people that might not be able to see it all. But you're talking about arson, assault, breaking and entering, bribery, death, drug and alcohol violations, fraud, gambling, human trafficking, larceny, motor vehicle theft, other, robbery, stalking, trespassing, vandalism, violent, and weapons violations. That's a large array of
You get a real look
categories.
into the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
However, some of these categories will be heavily restricted and redacted, such as death reports.
Yes.
They'll be very redacted. They're only available to certain family members by the Code of Virginia. And as well as any ongoing investigation where the release of information could jeopardize the integrity of that investigation, will not ultimately make it here to Citizen Connect until a time that is so fitting to do so.
That makes sense. All right, let's, again, for anyone watching, let's go over the web address if you want to follow along with Sheriff Davis. You go on Henry County, Virginia website, right? Henry County.
HenryCountyVA.gov. Again, that's HenryCountyVA.gov. You'll go to Government, Sheriff's Office, and scroll to the bottom left where you'll find our Citizen Connect tab.
Okay. Then you also can receive email alerts.
Yeah, that's what we just.
Yeah, but road closings.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
But again, you have to create an account to receive those.
Okay.
So another tool that you get by creating your own personal account is patrol requests. If you're going to go on vacation or your business has had prowlers or whatever the case may be, you can go in and request a deputy extra patrol it. And these come right out to our first line supervisors who'll get access to it to see who needs their property checked because they're on vacation or whatever other reason there may be.
Wow.
And you can submit that right online. You don't have to pick the phone up and call, try to get anyone. It's very convenient. Property registration is another tool that's available by creating your own account.
Now, what does that mean?
So we can go on there once you create it, and let's just say you have a business that has a large amount of power equipment such as chainsaws or weed eaters, and you wanted to add those to your account here at Citizen Connect. Should they ever be lost or stolen or lost in a fire, we'll have a full record of that for your reporting purposes later down the road. Serial numbers, makes and models, whatever it may be. And again, we're not trying to keep up with what you have. We're just giving you an option to record it here should you suffer a loss through theft or fire or any other means.
Well, that's a person's choice.
Yes.
That is a choice they make. But with break-ins, particularly businesses that lose a considerable amount at times, this would be a valuable tool for them.
Most certainly.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people call in and ask about putting guns into the property registration. You can most certainly enter your firearms. However, our number one question we've had is, are you trying to track our guns? And the answer is no. I'm 100% Second Amendment friendly, and you never have to worry about the sheriff's office tracking your firearms. But you can, if you choose to use it, feel free. But again, that's there. But back to the main thing. So one of the tools we wanted is for you to be able to reach out and contact any supervisor in our agency.
Okay.
So from myself, my entire command staff, every first line supervisor throughout both the law enforcement and corrections side of the sheriff's office. They're named here along with their positions.
And a phone number.
Phone number, those are their direct extensions, and their personal emails to be reached at the sheriff's office. So our entire command staff and first line supervisors are listed here for your convenience so you can contact them.
So there shouldn't be any reason why someone says, hey, I can't get in touch with someone at the sheriff's department.
That's correct. You have a host of supervisors from myself all the way down.
I'm on the screen.
Okay.
So we have an option to look at daily reports, Deborah,
Okay.
and it just brings it up.
Yeah, I'm looking here for daily reports.
So that's the individual who's booked into the adult detention center. That's all that's happened this morning. It's 8:48. That's all that's happened this morning. We've booked this individual into. But moving forward in the future, we'll be able to add our press releases on here. We currently send them out to all our media partners and we post them on Facebook. But we'll also be adding them here on Citizen Connect as well.
Okay.
So we have the option to see who all was arrested. So if we want to look for the last 7 days, you just click on that, submit. Well, let's look at 30 days. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So that brings up a good point. This system is not real time. So when somebody is arrested or a report is written, Deborah, it goes to their supervisor, and it goes through a chain of checks and balances.
Okay.
So it could be 2, 3, 4 days before it ends up here in Citizen Connect, because we want to be sure everything is correct and been properly checked before it ends up here.
Okay.
So it is not in real time.
So actually, when you're looking at the daily report, it's showing you the name, the date and time, the offense, and the location.
So this is everyone that's been arrested in Henry County in the last 30 days.
Wow.
It shows you their name, why they were arrested, where they were arrested at. But a really neat feature, if you know something about this, you can click here and submit a tip. This allows you to submit anonymous tips online about those individuals, and or we'll come back to the submit a tip a little later.
Okay.
And we have actually started to receive our first tips already. It's been great.
Really?
Yes, it's been great.
Okay.
So criminal paper search.
Now, what does that mean?
So if you get curious, Deborah, whether your neighbor or your friends or family may be wanted by the police, you can put their name in here, and if they have a warrant, then you'll know they're wanted. You can call in and give us information where they're at. And
Okay.
We're getting a lot of calls about how to get to the site.
Well,
what's the
it's
address?
easy. I think if you go in under Google and key in Henry County, Virginia, then it'll come up the main page for Henry County,
yes,
right?
this is what you'll see.
Yeah, it's
VA.
henrycountyva.gov.
henrycountyva.gov. And then again, we'll go government, sheriff's office, and once you arrive on the sheriff's office page, scroll down to Citizen Connect, and that will take you here to where we're at now. So you can find out if someone's wanted currently by the sheriff's office,
Okay.
and if they are, you provide a tip. Remember, the Crime Stoppers program always offers rewards up to $2,500.
Okay.
The same with traffic summonses.
So where it says citation search.
Citation search.
Okay.
That will be any traffic summons or local citation, including parking in a fire lane and things like that. So if you think if you're a parent and you think your child got a speeding ticket, you can look them up right here.
All right.
We just added this most wanted section that we're working on. We currently only have one person in the most wanted section right now, and that's Mr. Akeem Laquan Clark. He is still wanted by the sheriff's office for murder.
So you can actually see his picture and see the description, his height, weight, build, eye color, hair color. All right.
So that will be a continuous work in progress. We'll always be updating and modifying that. Missing persons cases.
Okay.
So we do have a couple missing persons cases here in Henry County that we're still working on. They are listed here, and they also feature the submit a tip. So if someone knows something, they can submit the tip anonymously, so we can help bring closure to these families.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. All right. So you have 3 listed so
We do.
far. Okay.
And this is very informative.
Okay.
So, and we're continuing to expand upon these, but this is an incident chart. So if we looked at the last month, so let's look at the last 30 days.
Okay.
Then you can pull up a pie chart here, and we'll show you the percentages of crimes that we work here in Henry County. So you can see 15% of the crimes we've worked in the last 30 days have been narcotics violations. 9% of them driving under the influence. 8.5% of them vandalisms. So we've had 14 larcenies in the last 30 days. That's pretty good. Simple assaults. 10% of the cases we worked over the last 30 days were simple assaults.
So this chart right here kind of tells me where the sheriff's department is at. If for somebody that says, hey, the sheriff's department is not doing their job, or where's a deputy when you need them, look at this chart and you'll see they're answering calls.
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah. And for me, being on the Board of Supervisors, this chart tells me a lot.
It's a very informative tool, but it goes beyond the chart. And we're going to expand upon these in the future to give us even more information. We're currently working with the software provider. We're going to eventually have a map of Henry County that's going to give us a crime overlay and an incident overlay. You'll be able to look at the map of Henry County, and there'll be an icon for the incidents that take place across the county. So you know exactly where you live in Henry County. You can look and see exactly what's taking place around you.
And then would I be able to see what part of the county more calls are being answered in than another part of the county?
We're working on that as well. So one of the things we already have up and running, it shows you our busiest days of the week.
Okay.
And so currently for the last 30 days, Sunday has been our busiest day of the week by far.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Saturday.
Saturday.
Has been our busiest day of the week by far.
Big time. And then surprisingly, a Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you go back and you change that, so we'll see current month. So for the current month, just for the month of September, it changed it a little bit.
Yes, it did.
So far for September, we've been busiest on Fridays, Saturdays, and it's dropped significantly on Mondays. But it just gives you the ability to look at that. And not only that, it gives you our busiest hours of the day, when our deputies are responding to the most calls. And so...
Now, what is this number up here? Is that the incidents, the number of the number of times they responded during that hour?
Yes, so for the month of September, they've taken 8 incident reports during the 12 noon hour. So that's been our busiest hour for the month of September thus far.
So far, okay.
And this has been our probably most popular tool.
That's the first one I went to.
Is our jail bookings. We get calls from our media partners regularly, wanting information about those incarcerated in the jail so they can write their news stories and report. But we also get questions from family members. Hey, do you have my family member inside the jail? And the others who are just otherwise curious. So this gives you access. So as of this morning, there are 246 people incarcerated in the Henry County Adult Detention Center. And what you have here is a photograph of each person who is incarcerated.
In alphabetical order, looks like.
In alphabetical order.
Okay.
And why they're incarcerated and what their bond may be, if they have a bond.
Wow.
And so a lot of people say that's a lot of information. Well, all this information is fully FOIA compliant. So this is information that would have to be released anyway under current FOIA laws.
I could just see people waking up in the morning and deciding, okay, the first item of the day for me is to go to the Henry County website under the sheriff's office and review what happened the day before or what had happened that week. Okay.
So we have a frequently asked questions section there, Deborah.
Can we go over those?
Yeah, we only have 3 on there right now.
Okay.
Like I said, we just released this last week, so we're building this. And it discusses how can we get a copy of an accident report.
And people might need that for insurance purposes.
Correct.
Okay.
So we get that regularly, but the sheriff's office doesn't work accidents in Henry County. The Virginia State Police are responsible for all accidents. So we have all the state police contact information where they can get their reports at.
Okay.
It says, how do I get a full copy of the report? Because the reports you look at in here are heavily redacted and they do not contain narratives. So in order to get a full copy of a report, one, you must be lawfully entitled to it, which is clearly spelled out in FOIA law. You cannot get a copy of a report for any currently ongoing investigation. So, but to get them, you must file a FOIA request, which can be done in person or on the phone, and a response will be provided within 5 days, and there are some fees that may apply. And the other third frequently asked question is, how do I get a deputy to work at my event, privately work at my event?
So when they're not working, and they might have some free time, we'll call it, you can actually pay an off-duty officer.
Yeah, we have off-duty officers working all around the county most days of the week performing various tasks. Whether it be at the Horse Pasture Fire Department for a wedding that's serving alcohol, we'll provide security at the expense of the individuals. So it just explains how to go about requesting an off-duty deputy.
Okay.
We have a standalone option to submit a tip. Doesn't have to be in conjunction with any of the people that have been arrested. If you want to submit a tip, you feel free to go on here. You can submit your tip anonymously, or you can leave your callback number where we can get back to you.
All right. So in this case, when you say anonymously, if they know of a situation that has nothing to do with anything up here, they can submit that tip. And okay,
Most certainly.
good. All right.
And finally, back to what really brought us to wanting to bring this technology was the ability to submit a report online. Again, Deborah, that is an option. We encourage people to do so if they want. It's convenient, just like online banking or online bill pay. But if you still want a face-to-face interaction with a deputy, you pick the phone up and call us. We're still coming. So if you submit your report online, it will come into our supervisors, and they will sign it out to be investigated. But again, this is just an option for our community that we wanted you to have.
And something else that I find when you say submit a report, and I see here examples. You talk about identity theft, stolen property, and you describe it and what that means: damage to property, lost property, credit card, ATM fraud, harassing phone calls.
So for right now, these are all the options you have for filing a report online.
Right.
So we're never going to allow the option to file a report online, obviously, for violent crimes and many other things. So like anything else, we want to introduce this in phases. These are all non-violent crimes that you can file a report on. So these are your options for now. We will be looking at how the system works and the service we're providing to the community. We may add additional options in the future, but this is it for now. So let's just say we wanted to file a report for identity theft. We'll click on it, and you have to have created your account to file the report online.
Okay.
If it's in red, it is required to complete the report.
Okay.
There are many other options that are not in red, they're in black. We encourage people to fill out everything that is applicable, whether it's required or not, because that gives us the most information.
Okay. Right.
And so this can be done in just a matter of minutes, literally.
So what you just said, a person can actually fill this report out, but then still call the sheriff's department if they still feel the need and talk to a deputy
Most certainly.
on the phone or in person?
Most certainly.
Okay.
Yes.
So this just, from what I see here, this is just another tool in order to aid the public and inform the public and get them involved in how the sheriff's department operates.
That's exactly right. You know, our deputies have always come out in person. We've taken reports over the phone, but this just gives you another option that moves us forward in technology.
That is important, technology. For a lot of us, of course myself, older person, you know, technology is a little scary. It is.
Most certainly.
Yeah. And so this is made easy. It really is. This is making it easier for someone to access the sheriff's department. So if there's a problem and you have property that you want to make sure is listed, log in, put that information there, and if you hopefully don't, but if you do have a break-in, then that information is already there, and y'all can actually start working right then
Most certainly.
to try to get that problem solved.
Yeah, this system is so user-friendly. I encourage everyone to go on and just check it out. Spend a few minutes looking at it. I think it's going to be a great tool for our community.
Yes.
We're really excited about it, and we're thankful and pleased to bring it to you.
Well, Sheriff, I tell you what, I was fascinated when I saw all this information on one site for people, because we get calls here a lot saying, hey, have you heard, has so-and-so been arrested? Or, you know, how do I do this or do that? And we always say, well, call the sheriff's department. This site here pretty much eliminates any question.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's in some cases it's fun reading. only because you know what's happening in your community. One thing I didn't see here, sex offenders.
So we do not have a link to the sex offenders on here.
Okay.
We may look at putting that there, but the Virginia State Police maintains the sex offender registry database, and they have a very comprehensive website you can locate right off the Virginia State Police's main website. But we would certainly may add a link to that.
Local. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, this has been informative for me, and I hope it has been for you. And it's encouraging to know that this information is available and you can access the Sheriff's Department through technology
Most certainly.
and find out what's going on with our jail.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on this morning and letting me know, as well as the audience know, how they can access this portal and find out the information that they need. And I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people now throughout the day monitoring this site.
Thank you, Deborah, for having me here on this 9/11, and it's such a somber day for our country. And we'd like to encourage people to continue to pray for their survivors and the
Yes.
families of the ones who didn't make it on 9/11. But also let us not forget the over 7,000 soldiers who have lost their life in the war on terror since 9/11. And September just happens to be National Suicide Prevention Month. And so there's an estimated over 30,000 soldiers who have committed suicide since the war on terror began. So if you know someone who's struggling with issues, please reach out and get them help. And let's not forget those people as well.
That's exactly right. Yeah, September the 11th, the day that we should never forget. All right, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me, Deborah.
Providing this information. All right, stay with us. More Star News programming coming up next.